Welcome back, guys. I hope you had a great afternoon yesterday. We are going to get going with day 2 of chapter 6, lesson 3. We're talking about weathering and erosion this week, and today we are going to focus on weathering. So Earth's landforms change constantly due to water, ice, temperature changes, wind, chemicals, living things. Literally almost everything can affect Earth's landforms. Rocks in Earth's crust are slowly broken into smaller pieces by a process called weathering. There are 2 types of weathering. There is chemical weathering and physical weathering. So let's talk about chemical weathering. During chemical weathering, chemicals cause rocks to change into different materials and then they break down. Rainwater mixes with carbon dioxide in the air to form a very weak acid. That acid then combines with the rock material to form a new chemical, and that new chemical gradually over time breaks down the rocks. There is an example of chemical weathering. You can see how over time just these random holes have kind of formed in these rocks. Animals and plants give off chemicals as well that can cause weathering, so do the activities of people. Water and warm temperatures are important in chemical weathering, as well as the wind and ice and everything like that, because warmer areas with a lot of rain are going to have more chemical weathering than colder and drier areas do. All right, let's look at physical weathering. So in physical weathering, rocks are broken into smaller pieces of the same kind of rock. Water is one cause of physical weathering because flowing water can carry more rocks, more soil, and more sand that scrapes against the larger rocks. Over time, those larger rocks gradually become smaller and smaller because they have been repeatedly scraped against by the rocks or soil or sand that water carries. Wind can also carry small particles that can weather rocks as well. Ice is another big thing that causes weathering because water can seep into the cracks of rocks, freeze, and then crack the rocks more, just like in this picture here. There was a smaller crack, water obviously got in there, froze, and when it freezes, it expands and it cracked the rock more. Temperature also causes weathering because when it is really, really hot, rocks expand or get bigger, and when it's colder, they contract or get smaller. Living things can also cause weathering because plants can sprout through cracks in a rock. If you've ever been walking through on a sidewalk and you see plants growing up through the cracks, that is what causes physical weathering as well. And if you can see in this picture, there is a small plant coming up through the crack in this rock. All right, guys, that is it for weathering today. We will finish up on Thursday with erosion and deposition. So I will see you then. Have a wonderful afternoon.